I'd like to welcome you to a presentation of the new be.as product configurator. be.as offers several possibilities how to manage assemble-to-order processes. Depending on the complexity of your manufacturing process, there are different approaches of how to deal with variants. The easiest way is to create variants of an item by entering parameters in the item master. If you have several parameters, you can also store them in tables of formulas. These are accessed by the variant generator at the moment when a calculation or a work order is created. A very comfortable tool is the product configurator, a graphical interface which allows to incorporate rules and conditions for an unlimited number of variants. I'm now going to demonstrate how easy it is to use the be.as product configurator. Imagine we are manufacturing furniture and one of our best sold items is a sofa. We select the sales order. With right click, the event-driven menu opens and we can directly access the configuration of the sofa. We'll go through this in details in a minute. If we select the configuration, we create a variant, we can save it into the sales order and we can store it for use in the future that you don't have to go through it again. Just save this variant number. But the first step is to set up the configuration. And this is done through the extended item master. We select the item and the tab configurator. This is how a configuration structure looks like. In the first line, the header and description. Then we have some information fields. In this case, just a description. Then we have parameters, this one. This parameter is called number of seats. A selection is presented. You can have a checkbox or text input field. You can say if it should be mandatory, this selection. These are these three objects which are to be selected. Below we have some variables connected to these objects. So for example, the sofa lathe, if we open it, we have a condition for this parameter. So it's accessing a parameter called length, which is multiplied with a factor of 5, plus another parameter, the number of seats which were selected before, and then again some formula. So this is for calculating the required amount, which is of course depending on the length of the sofa, which again is depending on the number of seats. This button helps you to check if your syntax is correct, so the flag turns green. If you want to enter prices, you can do this directly on the tab price, like for this armchair. You have a fixed price, or the possibility for the cushions to put a price of 2, and you can have a condition that the price for these cushions is calculated depending on the number, how much the user chooses. Another possibility is to enter conditions here in the headrest. The type of input is checkbox and its default setting is no, so you have to click the checkbox to get this question. We have no price. Now the visibility rule, it says that this headrest is only presented if you have selected before a number of seats 2 or 3. That means if the user has selected a 2-seater or a 3-seater. In the case that he has selected an armchair, this would not be presented. So an armchair may not be sold with a headrest. So if you're finished, you have entered all these conditions and rules, you can click on Test. We are always starting at the upper line to the design. This is the description, which was entered in the information field. Then we choose the size. You see everything what's not chosen is in red, the finished are green. You can choose between these three selections. We choose an armchair, price is entered, checkbox is green. The next point is to choose the covering. We can have a red leather, and this text input field is filled. We can choose the legs. They will have stainless steel, and steel legs are labeled. We can choose accessory. We want to have some cushions, and we can put in the number, and we see the price is adjusted. In the end, we go to results. We have the sum, total price. We can go to definitions, save this variant, give a brief description. We can also save this variant to a price list for using it in the future. We can save the number of the variant, we can copy it, we can load another, or we can just leave. A very comfortable and also very easy possibility is to use scripts. There we have an item, number 112, the very short bill of materials and very short routing. What we want to do now is to build up a bill of materials and the routing dynamically with the help of a script. Let's say we have some variants, model A and B, which require different material and different operations. Click on the icon in front of the item number and the script editor opens. Now in the script it's easily to see that in the case that variant A is selected, we call a function add BOM. That means that to the bill of materials one thing is added, the item with the name default and a quantity of 2. And we change the routing. We put in the resource with the ID number of 1200 at the position 30. It's very easy to put in this syntax. You don't need to have extended knowledge of be.as script, because on the right side there are predefined templates and statements. So for example, if you want to add a routing position, you just need to select which parts do you need. So the resource ID number between the brackets, you can select the position ID, you can select if you want to have it's mandatory clocking, you can put in a description, says setup time, and which way the time is calculated, minutes or hours. You can put in some use factors, which work steps are needed, which idle time, overlapping. So you can predefine all the resources, but you don't need to do it. It's working also in this very short and simple method. The way to check which effect the script had is to call the calculation of this item. And there we can see that this new item was inserted. You remember the ring was before, and this new item with the quantity we selected was entered into the calculation, and we have the new routing. This was only a very simple example to show you how easy it is to use be.as script for generating variants. For more detailed information, please refer to the training slide, Variants with be.as script. Please have a look at the notes and which way scripts are taken into account and in which situation they are not. I'm sure you will find the be.as product configurator a very useful and powerful tool. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye.